Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time finding the channel, welcome. I'm happy you found me. And if you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about the power of forgiveness. I don't know if you've ever held a grudge in the past, or you felt that somebody done you wrong or something like that, or perhaps you have done something wrong yourself, or somebody has made you angry in the past, and you're holding grudges that actually don't even serve you. It gives the grudge the power. It gives the hurt, the pain, and the person who hurt you the power, or that situation that has actually long passed. So it doesn't really serve you any longer. The only thing it actually does is allow you to hold on to that pain, and it basically prevents you from moving forward. Perhaps something you've done that you can't even forgive yourself for, or you said you have, but really you haven't. You know, in the past, you probably have something in your past that you haven't forgiven yourself that might be holding you back from even moving yourself forward, constantly beating yourself up. Well, this podcast is for you, because in order to move forward in life, you need to understand the power of forgiveness and take your power back. A long time ago, I learned and understood that the grudges I was holding on to only did one thing, and that was eat me up from inside. It prevented me from having the inner peace and everything that I wanted in life. I mean, that's what holding grudges can do. It can stop you from moving forward and having a productive life. And it prevented me from having a productive life because I always was holding on to this. And I understood at that time I needed a way to let the pain go. I needed a way not to forget, but I needed a way to not have that hold on, that emotional strain hold on to me any longer. So I realized one day I had to take time to sit down and list all the things I felt animosity over, angry about, or situations I put myself in and had a hard time even forgiving myself. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you ever had anything like I had, or you just can't seem to forgive yourself or others, this podcast is definitely for you. And I realize that every now and then I have to do a constant check with myself. I don't know about you, but I want to make sure that I'm not holding on to any past pain or hurts or anything of that nature. And it's not about saying, okay, well, I'm holding on to all of this, but I don't want to forget. I just want to release that emotional state that really tears me up inside. And before I go any further in talking about the power of forgiveness, I really want to talk about what forgiveness is not. And I'm going to be a little somewhat redundant because I want to make sure this point comes across and really sinks in. So bear with me, okay? Forgiveness is basically something that doesn't mean you approve or justify, right? Any harmful behavior or anything of that nature. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden, not about saying what they did was acceptable, but forgiving is not forgetting. And I just mentioned that. It's not about forgiving or forgetting someone else. It's about letting go of that emotional strain that really holds its grip on you. Forget and forgive. There is a big misconception in this. You don't have to forget the wrong that was done. The goal is to let go of all the emotional hold that it has over us. And that's what I was just talking about. When I went back and listed all the things that I had animosity, all the things that I was angry about, or what people have done to me, or even what I have done to others. And I thought I forgave myself, but in retrospect, I look back and say, you know what? Maybe I haven't really forgiven myself. So these things you want to take a look at, right? So I know for me, I've had a hard time forgiving a lot of people that wronged me. And believe it or not, I held on to pain. I didn't realize this. I held on to pain for almost 20 years of what one person has done to me. And I realized what that one person has done, and I'll be a little transparent. I was in a relationship in my teens, and something happened in that relationship. I caught a female that I really, really cared about a great deal in bed with another person. That one event damaged all my other relationships somewhat. Because if I wouldn't have let go all of that, I wouldn't probably had the great marriage that I had. I knew I had to let go of that, but every time I thought about it, I was like, and then I brung that baggage into a different relationship, a new relationship, wondering, will this person do the same thing? So you have to be careful. You have to let go of that emotional pain. So I don't know if you ever done anything like that. Believe me, I've been there. It doesn't always mean that we need to reconcile or rebuild a relationship with the person who actually hurt us. You can forgive someone without restoring trust or even closeness, especially if it's unsafe or unhealthy to do so. Forgiveness is, in my opinion, is not a sign of weakness. It's about choosing strength, self-awareness, our emotional maturity. And it takes courage to let the pain or anger go. And it takes strength and it takes self-awareness to do that. It's often a process, not a one-time event. It takes time. And it takes an effort to release the resentment, the hurt, the pain, because all of that, especially the pain, sometimes it can run real deep in us and we can't seem to let it go. I want you to think about anything in your life that, or any incident or anybody who ever done anything. Have you really let go of the emotional baggage that it comes with? I mean, I'm not asking you to forget, but I'm asking you to let go of that emotional hold it has over you so you can have a productive life, especially if it was an emotional pain that you dealt with in a relationship or anything else. Don't bring that same pain to the new relationship, because so many of us have a tendency to do that. I believe forgiveness is about finding a balance of healing and emotional freedom, not about making others feel better, but allowing us to have the peace from it. So, and it's not saying that they had, I forgive or I forget what they have done. No, you don't never have to forget, but you do have to forgive. And it's not for them, it's for us. The person who needs to forgive, it's for us. So if somebody's done something wrong to me, I have to forgive them for me, not them, but for me. So I can have the inner peace. So I can have the healing. So I can have the emotional freedom. That's what you need to say to yourself. And that's why, talking about what forgiveness is not, I want you to understand that you are able to have the freedom from the emotional baggage that pain will bring and that stays with you. You can get over that and still remember what happened to you, but remember in a healthy way where it doesn't bring the emotional baggage and the pain and all the resentment of feelings and everything else with it. You can forgive someone and still set boundaries to protect yourself from future harm. It doesn't mean tolerating ongoing mistreatment or forgiving others and denying your feelings or anything of that nature. It's important to acknowledge that pain and anger or disappointment. So, forgiveness involves addressing these emotions, not suppressing them. Forgiveness is always deserved, because you deserve peace, inner peace. You deserve to get rid of the emotional baggage. And that is why I say the power of forgiveness is a path to healing and freedom. Forgiveness is about a powerful and transformative act that has the ability to bring peace, healing, and liberation into our lives. It is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness, but in reality, it's not. Forgiveness requires a great strength if you think about it. It's not about condoning wrong actions or forgetting pain experiences, but rather freeing ourselves from emotional weight that holds us back. By forgiving ourselves, we create a space for healing. We create a space for growth. And guess what? In the end of all of that, we get a chance to create inner peace. And I know a lot of people are probably saying, look, you don't know what this person has done to me. You don't know what I've gone through. And everyone has gone through some pain. Everyone has a story. And everyone's story can be worse off than the others. But we still, no matter what the story is, no matter what the pain is, no matter what we've gone through, we still need to forgive so we can get rid of the emotional baggage that holds us down by chains, whips, and all the resentment that tears us up like cancer inside. I want you to think about one more thing. If you don't forgive, when I talk about all these things and you wind up with more resentment, do you know some of those things can cause ailments in your body? So now that emotional baggage that you bring is taking over and causing all kinds of illnesses that now require medication. You need to let go so you can have a healthy life. Forgiveness is not about who wronged us. It's about reclaiming our own peace of mind. It's by saying to myself, I want to be liberated from all this pain, from all this hurt, from everything that somebody has done to me. I want to get rid of it, not forget it. But I don't want this pain to be tearing me up anymore. More importantly, it can hinder all of our emotional growth and strain relationships. As we carry unresolved emotions into future interactions, when we forgive, we release these toxic feelings, allowing ourselves to move forward without the burden of our past. And that's why it's so important. Holding on to the grudges don't serve us any at all. I want you to ask yourself one question. Are these mistakes I made or the person who's wronged me and I'm beating myself up over? Why do I let it beat me up even after it's long past? Ask yourself. And if you feel like, and I have a secondary question, if you feel like you have been beating yourself up over something, how are you punishing yourself for it? I want you to ask yourself that. How am I punishing myself for this? And then ask that one question, that one word, why? And be truthful, be brutally honest with yourself. Why am I letting this beat me up? What am I gaining from this? I want you to ask yourself those questions. Because when you start writing this stuff down and you start writing about why you can't move forward, you start learning more than you think you do. Because you already know, oh, this person has done this wrong to me. This is that, this is the other. But now when you start writing all this stuff down, you're going to say, well, what the heck? Why am I holding on to this? This is just destroying my feelings. This is just destroying my mood. Why am I holding on to this? I want you to think about that. So, like I said, forgiveness is not about the person who wronged us. It's about reclaiming our own peace of mind. And that's the most important thing that we need to worry about. Forgiveness also has, I would say, a way of allowing us to lift the weights off our shoulders. It also has a profound benefit when we apply it to our own lives and ourselves. Many of us are our own hardest critics. Holding on to guilt, regret, long after events have passed. Self-forgiveness is crucial for personal growth, crucial for personal awareness. It allows us to let go of self-blame and accept our humanity the way we truly are. Only then can we move forward with confidence or even peace. So, what happens when we forgive ourselves? Let's go a little further, right? When we forgive ourselves, we experience a sense of liberation. The emotional chains have kept us tethered to the past. Fall away, they fall away. We can hear those chains hit the floor. We're able to move in our life more fully and be present. Our mental and physical health improves. And that, believe it or not, is huge. Forgiving others and also ourselves is fostering a healthy relationship and encouraging trust and openness, not with them, but with us, but with ourselves. So, how do we take the first step? Acknowledge the pain is taking the first step. And that's why I wanted you to write down why you feel the way you feel and how can we move forward. Why am I beating myself up about this? What am I gaining by beating myself up about this? Why do I still let this person have power over me? I need to let go of my emotional baggage. Right? The first steps, of course, forgiveness. That's recognizing the hurt and the experience, denying or minimizing the pain will only prolong our healness. And I would say this, the reason why is because you're suppressing it. You're not allowing yourself to feel that pain, so to speak, and say, okay, I'm processing this. And some people don't want to process it, and it prolongs it, and it starts to stay there. And guess what? You start living with it every single day. And that's why I talk about the power of forgiveness, because there are so many of us that is living with past pain and resentment and all this hurt and all these things that don't serve us in our life, but only does one thing. And I'm gonna reframe that. It does serve us, but it serves us in such a negative way. It tears our life apart, and we don't even realize how bad it tears our life apart. And I'm telling you right now, if you are hurting and you've experienced some type of pain that you're hurting from the past, let the pain go. Not for them, but for yourselves. Forgiveness is a conscious choice. If you didn't know that, it's about what we choose. It's about giving ourselves the ability to say, I relinquish these chains over my life. I relinquish this pain over my life. I relinquish the resentment that's holding me back. It doesn't happen automatically, but you must decide. The choice happens instantly, but it takes time for it to run its course and allow you to live a healthier life. Let go of all the resentment. And that's releasing the emotional grip that it has over you. It's about choosing your peace over your anger. So that's what I want you to do. And believe it or not, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. This takes time and repeated effort for you to achieve this. As you forgive, turn your attention toward what you can learn from the experience. Focus on how this process can make you stronger, wiser, and a healthier person. That's what you should focus on. So by choosing forgiveness, we gain an emotional freedom. And that's what you want, right? Peace of mind, the ability to live in the present rather than being anchored to the past. We develop a greater emotional resilience and understanding that our happiness is not contingent on others' actions. Forgiveness also fosters healthy relationships and cultivate a sense of compassion, both for ourselves and others. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift that we give ourselves, a gift that allows us to live more authentically and joyfully. Forgiveness allows us to become present in the moment, present in the future, and it allows us an emotional, healthy state. I hope that this was food for thought for you. So I want you to ask yourself, I'll put it this way, am I directly or indirectly punishing others for whatever happened? Okay? I want you to ask that. And I want you to ask this question too. What have I done in the past that I've not forgiven myself? I want you to write all this stuff down and then be brutally honest with yourself. Again, I hope that this podcast was giving you food for thought, something to think about, because that's all it's about. Bringing all this stuff that we already know to the forefront, but reminding us to do it for ourselves so we can have a healthier life. So we could free ourselves from the past and enter into the future in a healthy emotional state. Let me tell you, I am so happy to be able to share some thoughts that I have with you. And I hope that you could take those thoughts and basically live a better life with those thoughts by putting it into action in your own lives. My name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I am so honored that you bless me with your precious time by listening, but I am more honored if you would apply this in your own life. Hey, thank you for listening. Don't forget to come back on Poetry Friday. I'll have a brand new poem for you. I thank you so much and have a blessed week. Bye-bye. The last podcast.